Hey guys, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, back at it for another video, and as you guys can see, this is the PlayStation Classic. So, the PlayStation Classic, we already know, out of the tier 1, the good tier, we'd put the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, the Sega Genesis Classic, and the PlayStation Classic as the tier 1. Then tier 2 would be the AT-Games Sega Genesis and the AT-Games Atari. That would be the tier 2 of the mini ones. Then tier 3 would be the retro console with all kinds of mix of games. But as PlayStation Classic had some good games, but it didn't take advantage of what it could have done. And now, you guys are going to be seeing my list of the games they should have had. Now, this is just my opinion, and I am missing a couple. I wanted to add 25, but I'm just putting it at 20 to make this short enough video. And so let's get with our first game, which is... The first game is Gran Turismo 2. Not the original Gran Turismo, because Gran Turismo 2 is the better version on the PlayStation. It has better graphics, more vehicles, and more areas to race. So that's why I chose GT2. I don't know why they didn't put a Gran Turismo game in it. And also another thing, I do this where the PlayStation Classic still comes with the two controllers, but one is the original PlayStation controller and then one is a DualShock controller. It makes sense. And now at number 2, it is... So it's pretty much Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy. So it's Crash 1, 2, and 3, but it's the original graphics from the original PlayStation. So it's pretty much the N. Sane Trilogy. And the reason is because Crash was PlayStation's first big, game character. Him and Spyro were pretty big characters. And yeah, so let's get on with the next one. So after getting with Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, which that's a pretty good lineup of games, but why wasn't there a Crash game on the PlayStation Classic? Crash, when you think about Crash, you think about PlayStation. Now let's get on to the next one. Tomb Raider. The original one still is a pretty good one. It's probably one of the best ones out of the Tomb Raiders, because it still holds up. The graphics isn't the best, but it still holds up to today, and if it was on there, people would probably play it. And I think they could have also lowered the price, probably put its original price like 80 to 60 around there. But yeah, next we have Spyro the Dragon. So this is a classic, and Spyro and... So pretty much Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and Lara Croft were the big characters for Sony with the original PlayStation. And that's why I'd say you should add in Spyro. And another one they should add in is Spyro Year of the Dragon. And also adding it in, which is pretty crazy, but 3 Spyro games, I think it deserves it. Spyro 2. So 3 Spyro games, they could have did that because people like Spyro, and if they would have put Spyro and then Spyro Year of the Dragon and Spyro 2, it would have been pretty good. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII. It is a classic, and it's on the PlayStation Classic already, and that's one of the best games on the PlayStation Classic. And I think it deserves to be on here again. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII is still gonna stay. And next we have Twisted Metal 1 and 2. I'm putting 1 and 2 because the 1 is what started it, and 2 is a pretty good one. So yeah, those are the 2 ones. And that was probably one of PlayStation's... That and Gran Turismo were the PlayStation big racing games, exclusives. But they haven't made a new Twisted Metal since the PS3 days, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, next one is Metal Gear Solid. So the Metal Gear Solid franchise has there's quite a few in the franchise, and it was a pretty good game for the PS1, and I think it would be on there because, well, Metal Gear Solid, it's a pretty good game, and the series has gone a long way, and they haven't made one in a while, but I'm not sure if they will make another one in a little while, but they may, but they definitely put Metal Gear Solid 1 on there. Next we have, I still think Rayman would be on the PS Classic because, well, Rayman, he's gone a long way. He's been 3D, 2D, it's just, hasn't been 3D in a long time, but they definitely add this game because, well, it's Rayman. It's a pretty good classic game, and yeah, see, that's Rayman. Because it was 3D, 2D, like, it just, he's evolved over time. Because he's been 3D, well, he's been more than that, but, like, you know what I mean. Okay, next we're getting on to Resident Evil 2. So, Resident Evil, pretty much you guys already know about it, but Resident Evil 2 would be on there. Resident Evil 4, wasn't that one on the GameCube? I'm pretty sure it was. But let's get on to the next one, which is Super Puzzle Fighters 2 Turbo. That one is already on the PS Classic, but it is a pretty good game, and that's why I'd say it'd still be on there. And it's a puzzle game, and I think I was watching a video, and that's a pretty good one on it, and that's why it's still on here. Next on the list is Street Fighter Alpha 3. This one would definitely be on it. They need a fighting game, and, well, who else to go with than Street Fighter? And Street Fighter Alpha 3 is probably one of the best fighting games on the PS1 if it isn't. And, like, yeah, that's why I went with Street Fighter Alpha 3 because it is the best fighting game on the PS1. And now let's get on to another one that was on the PS Classic. R4 Ridge Racer Type 4. So, this game is a fun one. I don't have a PS Classic, and I haven't played these games, but PS Austin, he's a member of this. He played this game, and he really likes this game. And there is already 2 racing games, but, like, well, 1 racing game. Technically, Twisted Metal is not really a racing game, but you gotta put this on there. It's a pretty fun one. You'd put this, and I'd say you have to put Gran Turismo. That's why I put Gran Turismo 2, not Gran Turismo. I just put GT2, and you get this one. So you get 2 racing games, and they're pretty good ones. And now let's get on to the next one, which is a pretty good one. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is probably, like, one of the top 3 PS1 games. And Castlevania is a great franchise in the gaming. If you've, like Castlevania, it's a great franchise. I've only played Castlevania 1 and 2. I like Castlevania 1 way more than 2. It's kind of weird. Because I have an NES Classic, which is kind of off topic. Even though this is a PlayStation channel, I do have an NES Classic. But I do have a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, 2 PS3s, and I'll just tell you, I have 2 original PlayStations. I don't have the PS and then ONE. I don't have that one. But I do have the PS2, the big model. I don't have the slim. I have the original model PS3, and I have super slim PS3, not the slim though. And then PS4, I have the slim. I don't have the Pro or the original. But handheld wise, I am getting a PSP. So yeah. But the NES Classic has Castlevania. Really good game, fun. But the second one's not the best. And then Super Mario Bros. On it, fun. But the Mario Bros. 2 is not the best one. And then The Legend of Zelda. The first one, I love that game. That's my favorite game on the NES Classic. But the second one, I don't like that much. It's just boring. It's different. But let's get on to the next one. We only have 2 more, I think. Yep, 2 more. Tetris Plus. I know there's already a puzzle game, but I love Tetris. And if there's going to be a Tetris game on a console, and this is Tetris, so I'm putting it on there. Tetris Plus. It's Tetris. What do you expect? You know you're going to have fun with it. It's not no Tetris Battle Royale stuff like that, but you're going to have fun if you're playing Tetris. And the final one is a PlayStation series that has been going since 97. They've been making it since 97. It's the first one in the series, and I'm thinking it should be on here. And you're going to see why. They have been making these games for such a long time, and even though it is, I'm giving you a little hint, it's a sports series, doesn't matter. It's one of PlayStation's best exclusives because Xbox nor Nintendo has this, and that's why PlayStation is the king if you are a fan of this sport. Let's get ready for it. Even so, MLB The Show is one of the best exclusives to PlayStation. It's the best sports game exclusive on there, and it's MLB The Show is just a great sports franchise. It's in my top 3 of sports franchises. Because my top 3 would be 2K, The Show, Madden. But before it was The Show, it was MLB 98. It was called MLB 98, 99, 2000, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, and 06. Then in 06, MLB 06. Then they had 2 games called MLB. There's MLB 06, then MLB The Show 06, and then since then it's been to 19. This is the game before the show. It is the show before the show. So it's pretty much the show, just it was called MLB 98. And you have to put this because it's one of PlayStation exclusives. And I hoped you liked my list for what the games should have been on the PlayStation Classic. It's not the best list, but it is a pretty decent overall list. And I hope you liked this video, and keep watching for more videos like these. If you like this video, leave a like and tell me if you want more videos like these, because I may make one for PS2 and PS3. PS3 I have the most experience with because I played PS3, and yeah. So that's it, guys. Bye.